Earth-Based Englishman here. I'd like to apologise for the background noise that you'll hear throughout the video. I'd forgotten to plug my external microphone in so you can hear the sound of a fan. My apologies, and please enjoy the video.
So, talk about paganism. What is it? Is it as easy as some people think? In one respect it is. In another, far from it. With so many different traditions and so many connections within those traditions, some people find it very difficult to continue, thinking it's just an easy religion to join. Well, it is, but it's a way of life, and there's a heck of a lot of study. Just take one set of gods from one tradition, and within that you've got other gods that are connected with them, and within that they've got different aspects, and then there's other gods that have got a similar aspect, and it expands and expands. Then you've got your legends and your myths. So where do you start? Well, you start from yourself, from what's inside, what you feel, what you think about, how you interact with everything around you. You could read books. I've got some here. I find one of the most important ones is something like this. The Witch's Book of Self-Care, because self-care is very important. Some Wiccans will quote you, "Do as thou wilt, but harm none." Well, harm none includes to yourself. How you go about the work that you do, the rituals, the spells. How much effort you put into it. You have to make sure you are in the right place, the right frame of mind in order to move forward. There's other books you can get. The Little Book of Witchcraft. Well, this is just talking about witches, but there's lots more to paganism than witchcraft. There's druidry, there's shamanism, there's just been an earth-based religion where some people just follow the elements, believe in the earth itself and the power of the earth and every creature and thing on this planet. Those are crucial things when it comes to paganism, because paganism is an earth-based religion. A lot of the gods have aspects of nature, the living world nature. Some have aspects of our life, like a god of war. That's not necessarily nature, but war is inherent within nature, or at least a battle. It's why an oak tree shoots up through the canopy before spreading out, so that it can reach those heights, reach the light, and then pushes everything else out. There are other books, some a lot thicker. If we look at the thickness of these, you can see that the first book, the Little Book, is just touching the surface. This one holds far more information. Some of it is not relevant to some traditions, and some of it is relevant to all traditions. In case you're interested, that's the book. I find it really interesting, but there are a few things that even are quirky to me. There's also books like the Wiccan Bible or the Wicca Bible. Some people live by it. Some people think, well, it's only about Wicca. Well, it's not. It's got a lot of information about Wicca, but that's not all it's about. This is a recommended book, Pagan Paths. When people ask me about paganism, what is it about? Well, I tell them it's an earth-based religion. It's about the earth and lots of gods, the old gods, where the gods have aspects of nature, but it's also about the spirit of the land, of the earth, of the animals around you. how we connect to each thing. I'm often saying, and it's quoted in here, yeah, it has been said that if you gather 3 pagans together, you get 5 opinions. Well, there's a similar one about witches. If you ask 5 witches, you'll get 10 answers. Because it's not just about one thing. It's not just about another thing. It's about an amalgamation of lots of different things. How you go through it is what makes you pagan. It's what makes you able to connect with the things around you. This landscape around me, it's just a landscape to some people. On others, there is so much about it. It's about being in that cave and looking out onto the water, seeing other people around and the life that's there, the energy within the waves, within the sun, within the wind. Not everybody can see it, not everybody can feel it, but it's tangible and it's there. I've mentioned in some of my other videos about tree hugging, and people laugh. Until I mention about if you sit against a tree because you've gone out for a walk and you just want to sit down and just relax. What makes it relaxing? Is it because you're there against something solid behind your back? Or is it because you're out in the open? To me, it's all of these things. Being out in the open, being able to connect and feel everything around me. But that solid stability of the tree behind me. That canopy that's over me. And the birds that are singing. And the odd squirrel that runs over. All of these things make me feel connected to the earth. Putting your arms around a tree is no different to laying against it. If you feel the energy within that tree, that spirit of that tree, it doesn't care what sex you are. It doesn't care what sexual orientation or gender specific you want to be. It's a tree. Some trees are male, some are female, some are both. But that's how nature is. I'm not telling you how to be. I'm just saying that this is how the tree is. How nature is. The energy and the magic that we feel around us can be shaped. Much like if you go to the beach or get loads of soil, wet it down, and you can shape it. Sandcastles, mud pies, or mud bricks. That's how I see the energy around us being transformed, being brought together to make that to make and feel magic. The words and the intent to draw it into a spell. Whether that's through ritual, chanting, or some other things like potions. Being able to capture and shape that magic, that energy, into something positive. To make someone near you feel better. To take away that pain at their request. Because we don't take away their pain if they're not wanting us to. Because that pain may be hiding a greater pain. So what do? Well, there are many things. You can meditate. You might have one of these with incense, allowing you to reach a different thought, be transported somewhere else. You may even catch the fancy of something like this that holds these little cones. And the smoke comes out, making it feel like some of the little people are around. Or because it's a mushroom. It makes you think and feel as though you are out in the open, out in that mushroom field or around a fairy circle. You may be in the enviable position where you can light candles. Some people live in flats and it's part of their agreement that they can't light candles. Some can't light incense. But there are also fragrances where you can get a stick in and it'll take the fragrance out. It's about being in that moment and being able to be transported somewhere else. Don't know if you can see this. Pagan guided meditations. Well, a guided meditation is one of these meditations that you're not just trying to forget something, you're not just trying to focus on one thing, you're trying to find answers. You're trying to be transported to somewhere else. You're focusing on your breathing, you're focusing on your heartbeat, and then you move your whole consciousness somewhere else. It's another part of paganism where you can see the world around you in a different light. You can be transported to a woods, you can be transported to the center of a lake, maybe on a boat or an island. But being able to sense it, feel it, be a part of it, that to me is earth-based religion. That to me is tangible. Some parts of paganism is about ancestry. It's about spirits. Well, I've just spoke about spirits, whether it's of a tree or an animal, of the earth. But you've also got the spirits of your ancestors. Have you ever thought that there's somebody there? Feeling as though in some other religions, or even just people in general, they might think there's a guardian angel or a guiding hand. Maybe you feel as though one of your parents or grandparents or even one of your pets is around helping you guide. These feelings, these spirits, this is energy that's there where people's essence has joined this bigger thing. I remember, this is, to me, how you feel it might be completely different. But when I do things and I try and connect, I use screens like this. I use incense. I light candles. Or I'll sit in a field. Or on a playing field, or on the hills. On a rock. And just be in that moment. Just be present and feel everything around me. So the big question is not, what is paganism? What is an earth-based religion? The question more is, what do you feel? And how do you connect with it? Then you'll have a better understanding of what all this is about. Blessed be.
Be inspired, inspire, and breathe.